Ladies and gents, welcome to the swamp. The swamp that has pine trees. I forgot. I've got to restart my game. This is not a pine swamp. It is actually a rainforest swamp, but I've got the wrong trees on. But that's not important. In the blue, we've got freaking Andy playing as the humans. The one and only civilization that can make town centers in feudal age. So that's immediately my thought. There can be a lot of food on the swamp. Lots of buffaloes, which have more food than sheep. You also have rhinos, which have more food than boars. And the potential to wall up. So I'm already excited. And then in the red, we've got Kasva, who's playing as the Teutons. And Teutons can bring in a lot of food with their cheap farms. They have really good monks, really good infantry, really good cav. They're just rather slow. So if I were to think of one unit that the Teutons could potentially struggle with, it would maybe be the Kipchak, because it is a mobile, ranged unit. The Teutons they struggle against cav archers. That's what people seem to think. I think Teutons are kind of underrated in all circumstances. So, a bit of perspective on the players. Their rough elo is next to their names at the top. Freaking Andy he's had a freaking good year. If you remember, he was the player who converted my Fatoria on Mega Random not so long ago. And since then, he shot up. He made it into the top 32 in King of the Desert. He's playing in the top 32 of Masters of Arena. He was really good in the Black Forest tourney as well. So he's an Austrian player who is just really good at the game. Really quick and really strategic. So I'm excited to see what he'll do. And then Kasva is a player who has been around AoE2 a very long time. I remember him back in 2016, 17, 18. And he was always good back then. He became quite good at Age of Empires 2 in the Definitive Edition. And wasn't quite cracking into the top 32, the level he would have maybe wanted. He went to Age of Empires 4 when Age of Empires 4 came out. And he stayed there for a bit, got some decent results. And has returned to Age of Empires 2, which we're all really happy about. And he's done well, but again, not quite at that level of freaking Andy. So we are looking at two pro players here, though. And yeah, I mean, another thing you can do on this map is you can dock if you want to go for fish. There's plenty of possibilities on this map, which is what I think makes it fun. And combine that with random civilization, then you've just got a whole mix of different strategies and units you might end up seeing. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this thus far. I mean, there's a whole lot of buffaloes underneath Kasva's TC, so that's pretty cool as well. We'll see how the game flows. Freaking Andy is dropping a dock. And Kasva will need to scout that. I've always felt like fishing is a little overrated on this map because you have so much food otherwise. And if you do fish, your opponent can always just kill the fishing ships with land units anyways. Like scouts and whatnot. But it's tricky because having a dock is also still helpful for water control later because there's a lot of gold here in the middle. But from what I'm looking at right now, it doesn't really seem like freaking Andy is going to be going for the second TC. But he might. Like, if he scouts this wood line, and he already has scouted to the edge of the map, he could just wall there, and then I could see a town center here, and then suddenly it's just like, where do you do damage with your units if you're Kasva? Did you know the person who made this pine tree mod made one that has all types of forest types so it looks more natural? I am aware of that, Shulker. However, for whatever reason, different trees have different hitboxes. And so the reason that I use this mod in the first place is for gameplay, because it is so much easier to click the trees properly. So having variety would probably be good for casting. At the end of the day, I honestly just need to get used to just switching accounts or just turning mods on and off. But that takes work. And it's, it's annoying. Like, earlier I played in a tournament, and then immediately afterwards there was something I wanted to cast, so I moved on to casting that. And, I don't always have the time or think of it right away, and don't want breaks or whatever else, so. Leonard, I hear your point on not including player titles in tournament casts. I'm not going to be able, I absolutely know where you're coming from, right? Because you don't want spoilers on results. What I'm going to do in the future Kasva's going to try tower rush and wall in the dock. There's a lot going on right now. I'll have to answer the question later. I've got thoughts for you, though. All right, I've got thoughts for you. What is happening? Okay, amphibious terrain. You can sail on it. You can also wall it. And Casva wants to drop a TC here. Does Andy see that? Look at these villagers. It's not a forward lumber camp, that's for sure. Not really sure what this accomplished either. He wants to wall in the entire dock. We'll see if Andy's going to make a ship. I think Andy is going to make a ship, but he's not in feudal age yet. And does Andy see that there's a tower going up? Yes, there is. Yes, he does. And if this dock is walled in, Navy might not be a possibility. Whoa! Okay, now guys, I've done this before. I've seen this before. It will fail miserably. You need to wall the corner or a ship can pop out. I can't click the dock to tell you if anything's being produced. It doesn't look like it. But we do have another dock going up, and now we have wood problems here for Andy. He is going for the second town center. Remember, he does have food here, but he's not really on it. Like, the whole build here from Casva, this aggression with walls and tower has worked out thus far. He's even going to drop another tower. Casva's got food at home. He won't have enough stone for a tower just yet. He'll have it shortly, though. And he's walling in the towers, which is something a lot of pro players forget in the aggressive games. Really happy that he didn't forget it here. Andy essentially made a new dock so he could drop off the food from his fishing ships at that dock, which is good. He's now going to mine stone here because he spent 100 stone on the second town center. So he needs a little bit more stone so he can make a counter tower. However, Teutons can garrison more villagers inside their towers. So if it's a tower v tower situation, the Teutons always win. I like this tower a lot. He doesn't really know what's happening. Normally you want the towers next to each other, but there was no real reason to need that. So now I think your next tower just goes here. Yeah, just drop a tower here. It honestly might even be worth it to build it where you could shoot the buffaloes underneath the opponent's TC. But no, I mean... Okay, this is where it gets interesting, though, because these towers are not within range of each other. So what we could see from Andy... Oh, yeah, he's going to rush it down. Oh, boy, this is going to get messy. And now Casva says, I want to build a house there. I want to build palisades. Quick wall, quick wall, quick wall. The villagers are rushing. Ah! Now Casva could have problems. See, if this tower is closer, then you could maybe try and garrison. But what a great move from Andy there. Because he's going to push this tower back, and he has essentially trapped Casva in here. Casva, he can't really run. But he does still have this tower, I suppose, and he could maybe make another tower here soon. So he's still around, and actually kills a villager. Has not lost a villager yet. What? Such a weird tower. Such a funny tower. Okay, he just deletes it. It is funny to me that the villagers have now chopped the trees over here and also chopped the trees over here. It's not something you see every game. Okay. Now, Casva has more villagers, but Casva does not have fishing ships. Casva's going to try and disrupt the opponent's fish with fire galleys. Andy already has 2, though, and he's not going to free up his dock. We see another tower here from Andy, who has had a lot of idle TC time because of this pressure, right? It's hard to have a perfectly balanced economy when you have the water to worry about and then also the land. Casva, well, check resources collected is probably collected more, but he's going to lose his fire galley. Fishing ships will still fish. And then here is just where you have to be careful if you're Andy. However, it looks like without fletching being in, that villager can't be ranged. So we'll see what happens. Farming eco coming up. Very cheap farms with the Teutons. Food count looks exciting for Casva. I get that. Let's look at the res collected, though. He has not collected as many resources. He's collected more food. But you have to imagine that Andy, now that things are kind of stabilized, is going to be able to catch up in the food because of fishing ships, but also some buffaloes. And actually, this tower is just going to be battered down now. That's probably pretty smart from Andy as well. These villagers are daring, though. Don't get walled in here, Casva. Okay, dropping houses. Wow, it's really good tower still. I would be terrified if I were the villagers, but it's still a really good tower. You're now kind of trapped, but your tower's going to go up. And so it's not like the villagers from Andy are really accomplishing much here. Look at the idle time for Andy. It's freaking insane. It's freaking Andy. Okay, cool, cool. Dropping straggler trees. Got it. Cool. Lots of stone. 400 stone. You can't do anything with that right now. Ideally, you would collect the stone later if you want to drop a castle. This is messy. This is... You know what this is? It is time for everyone's greatest superhero. It is time for... Okay, hold on. Just give me a second. Is that a bird? Is that... No, still gotta wait. Hold on. It's gonna be epic, okay? It's gonna be epic. Just wait. Ooh, nice play from Kasva. Completes the wall. These villagers are gonna make a daring escape. Oh, he's gonna try wall it in. Oh, what is this game? Tower goes down. It is time for everyone's favorite superhero. God, he still doesn't have the wood. The market. Come on. He needs a market so bad. I like how Andy tried to trap Kasva, and now Kasva has trapped him. Kasva is doing a great job here. I guess it comes down to how many villagers he actually kills here, because he's absolutely going to lose these eventually. Because freaking Andy's committed right now. Okay, Garrison. This gets really bad for Andy, and then eventually gets really bad for Kasva. I'm so glad. This is why I love ranked games, man. This is epic. Random civ, different maps. Let's go. Oh, God. Kasva's Eco KD is wonderful, but these villagers are in a pickle. And, I mean, I doubt any of them are really going to be able to escape. We've got a quick gate here. For the love of God, I can't look at the wood efficiency. It's so crazy. What a game. Andy's just passing. More quick walls. These ladies are daring, to say the least. The gates that Andy has placed has taken him further from the market. How have these women survived? Make a lumber camp, please. Okay, there we go. Meanwhile, though, Kasva's farming eco has been wonderful. 14 farms. There she goes. There she goes. And Castle Age should come in pretty quickly. I mean, this has been chaotic. You've still got buffaloes that I'm sure freaking Andy was intending on eating. And this is... Where's the bear at? There's going to be a bear. Where's the bear? No bears? Oh, there's a... Oh, it's a tiger. Okay, yeah, we'll see if that ends up happening. Wow, they're actually surviving right now, these villagers. So, Kasva, he might not have as much economy, but he has made it so the player who has more economy doesn't have the efficiency and the balance. And there's everyone's favorite superhero. Burr, 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 burr. It's Market Man. And Market is going to help Andy a lot. And he's going to want a castle. So there's still a timing, which is really important here for Kasva. He needs to start to apply some pressure before a castle comes up. We are going to see the left of our screen just light up in blue notifications as we have a tiger now going after this villager. She's still alive. There's another villager headed that way to meet up with her. It's a beautiful love story. She was in love with somebody, but then the tiger showed up, and then she was able to save herself too. Dang. Okay. All comes back to love, guys. Where are those notifications from the market? Still hasn't happened. Little surprised. Has a stone for the castle right now. There's a stable here for Kasva. He's not necessarily all in. He could add economy behind this too. And there's notifications. And okay, we have Andy on the way up. So Andy has water control on a map where having vision and control of the middle is really important. He has collected more resources, but barely. He will want to keep as many villagers as possible alive. He's outposting the middle, but I think he just assumes that Kasva ran home. Right? Or maybe he didn't realize in the moment that the one villager survived. He probably also didn't see the villager that ran across the shallows here. Because remember, one of these guys is weak. Kasva immediately is going to start making knights. And, okay, there's some paranoia here from Andy. This is going to get fun. He sees the siege workshop, too. You got to get out of here, right? There's a lot of weak villagers here. And look at him. Oh, man. He's got, like, no food income. Okay. So he sees the knights. Run! Run! Okay, house wall, house wall, house wall. Wow, very well played. But if the siege shows up, you have problems. So I don't know how long you can stay here. That scorpion is going to feast on this wood line. Oh, man. Okay, some more quick walling needed. Very stressful. Okay, knights are under. I mean, there's 3 towers here, though, so. Okay, knights working out. Tower and a scorpion. Oh, God. You delete the barracks? What do you even do? Oh, he's going to make step lancers first. Interesting. Okay, so Kazva sees him running right now. Kazva's hungry. Kazva sees the vills escaping. There's so much work for Andy right now. Oh, my goodness. Might not have the vill lead for much longer. Making step lancers for the villager. Building the tower. Gets the villager. And now we have quick walls needed from Kazva. The step lancers have the range. Villagers actually repaired that scorpion. This is all to clear up the siege push. Whole wood line needs to be abandoned. Over here, you still have knights running in underneath the gold. You've still got villagers in and out of towers. The siege has kind of been slowed down. The Lancer micro is actually amazing there from Andy as well, because he's able to use the range. And I would begin to worry a little bit if I'm Kazva the second I start to see this castle. Because at this point, that's what Andy should be trying to go for. He just doesn't have the stone for it right now. Crazy game. This game has been so messy. And say what you want about tower rushes, guys. But messy games and very unique games stem from tower rushes. Back in the day, you used to see a lot more tower rushing. They nerfed towers by making them more costly. You don't see it as a big part of the meta anymore. Man, Andy has lost so much eco in this game, but he's going to clear up the knights. He still just needs a castle. If I know Andy, he might want it on the front here, like right here. But just make a defensive castle, man. Kazva doesn't think that his opponent would be so bold to go over here to this gold. And the fish trap is even being attacked right now. Save the trap. No. I just want you guys to look at this and realize this is an actual pro game, okay? Just give me a second. Okay. We have a blue dock that is partially walled in with red palisades. And 2 villagers from blue are attacking said palisades. Okay. We then have a fishing ship, which is stacked on top of the edge of the dock, which is just kind of a funny graphic thing, and is fishing on a fishing trap, which is then being attacked by a knight, which is then being, attacked by step lancers. Like, this is the thing. Combined with this, we have a house that's on fire, fully walled in by blue, and we have red palisades next to blue's mining camps. We have a tower, which is maybe going to complete next to what used to be the full lumber economy for the other player. And then there's siege, workshop, and a monastery? Like, what? This is crazy. Okay. Oh, yeah. Andy's going forward. Andy's going forward. Okay. So, Kaz was thinking, oh, my God, I found villagers. Oh, he didn't see them. He did see them. Ugh, he's thinking I can kill these villagers, and I love my life because that is very nice. He also sees these villagers. But it's all decoys, people. It's all decoys for the castle that's going to go up on the front because Kazva doesn't have stables at home. He has them on the front. Ay, 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 ay. But that castle on the face is going to do so much damage, and Kazva sees it. And Kazva's sending vills. He quickly buys stone to drop a tower. He is Teuton, so he can shoot a lot of arrows. Meanwhile, he's trying to break through here, and he's converting villagers and forcing repairs. And maybe he kills all of these villagers. He's actually switching what he's converting to try and get the villagers to stop. This tower, it's not going to do enough. The castle's going to go up, and ay, 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 what a game. Kazva still has an eco lead, but he's got a castle on his face now. The food economy for Andy is just a couple fishing ships, and it's not very efficient. And that's the main TC for freaking Andy, and Kazva's underneath it. This is awesome. Okay, everyone on YouTube, I want you to stop and take a moment right now and just tell me who you think wins this game. And you could also add in who you're rooting for, because both players are having chaotic moments. I think Andy wins this game because I think Kipcheck and forward castles are huge. But right now, Andy can't really conveniently take gold. Like, he could take it in the middle, but that could always be raided with knights. I guess the gold for Kasva's a bigger issue, though. I mean... yeah. Let me look at res collected here. Yeah, Kasva's... He's collected way more. If that castle was defensive for Andy, I think that Kasva, well, is a bigger favorite to win this game. The fact that he does have to respect the potential pressure of that castle all the time is a big problem for him, though. We haven't even had fletching for freaking Andy, so I don't know if Kipchecks is possible. And he's now getting raided in the middle, and he's got a quick wall again, still relying mainly on step lancers. And the beauty of the lancers is that they have the extra range, but they're not as good as a knight, especially a Teuton knight with all the armor. Kasva's located the majority of the economy for freaking Andy. And even though freaking Andy's quick walls are incredible here, there's still some big problems for freaking Andy. Oh, man. And you got a monk and a knight just headed over there. I mean, this could be over pretty soon. He needs an answer to this, and the Kipchecks are too expensive for the guy. Not to mention, he hasn't had the time or resources to get the upgrades. Wow. So a lot of people here said Andy. I also thought Andy. Andy just hasn't been able to get his eco together. And Kasva just knows. He finds where his opponent is, and he just pounces on it immediately. Keep in mind, Kasva's not mining any gold right now. He's dropping a town center that is kind of in between where his starting town center and his second town center went, just so he could kind of cover that area with arrow fire. Here he is. Looks like a step lancer was converted and a monk died. Still step lancers for Andy. Andy still has big economy problems. We have a TC here for Kasva. His economy's still flowing like crazy. Micro from Andy is his best helper at this point. And he's using everything he can. He's using the fires. He's using the lancers. Remember, Kasva does not have gold. And Kasva also will see the score and feel like he's behind because of that. If it's actually should be easier to micro lancers against Teutons too, because Teutons don't have husbandry, so you could use the little one range a bit easier. Fire galley's nice. Lancers kind of paying off. Oh no, and Kasva wants to drop a castle, but where do you even drop it? Where do you go now? You don't drop it at home. Also, is there gold there? I don't even know what that is. You want to drop it in the middle, but you would have wanted to have the villagers there a couple minutes ago, but you couldn't really do that because your economy's over here. He's got so much stone because he doesn't know where to put it. I mean, Andy's main base is a wasteland right now. He's going to drop it here. Oh, he could go with this and he could go rams, maybe? Okay, so I understand why he placed it here, because if you delete farms and place it more forward, it could get denied. I think as long as you can still take some gold, you're okay with this. And yeah, rams would be a really nice touch. This is an amazing game. This game is just quality content. Love the town center from Kasva here. Because the raids are going to start. But he's got monks ready, and he's got that TC up. That was a TC that was strictly there to protect that farming eco. Because Andy can see it too, because Andy's got outposts. With a little bit of walling here, Kasva could also take that gold. But yeah, just take the one underneath your castle. Seems fine. Andy's still going to struggle because he cannot do significant damage. Kasva's eco is flying. And he is going to batter down this outpost. He's like very unhappy about its existence. And now you have a little bit more freedom right now if you're Kasva, right? Run underneath this guy's TC. Try and do some damage. And try and push. But Andy's actually going to sort this out. Lancer's really adding up just with how they engage. They've got less HP, less attack, less armor. But they've got more speed. And all their units are able to hit pretty consistently. Man. Haven't seen any of these Lancers been able to get back into Kasva's base. Andy's still using the market periodically. He's going to try and take out this tower. Kasva won't mind that. Would really like to see Rams. It feels like this is a moment to be massing Rams to push down this castle. And look at him here. He's looping in. He's really curious in if he can do any damage here with random knights. And he is Teutons. So monks from the opponent, unlikely to do as much damage, or convert as quickly, I should say. And speaking of a conversion, Kasva converted a Vil. Kasva also converted a fire ship. And that forces Andy over there to the middle. Both players are building up towards castle number 2. I think castle number 2 is going to play a big part in ending this game. Clearly that castle's going to come towards mid, right? Andy's already got Vils there, which makes me think he's got an advantage in that race. He also has more army. Genuinely think that maybe Kasva has to devoid the middle and he has to somehow get over here and drop a castle here. Like right near the main base of Andy. But again, it's just really hard to know what to do because of how this game played out. Normally there's a couple clear avenues for you to do things and attack, but here it's just not so clear. And you just got to be doing some reacting all the time because the Lancers have made it through. Great reacting here from Andy, by the way. Great proactiveness from Kasva. And Andy still trying to go quick walls, quick houses, quick gates, trap. Just passing. And meanwhile, as he does all that, for the highlights, this happens. And Andy just calls the GG. He just calls the GG. He feels like he's got nothing anymore. The Knights did get through, which I'm sure he noticed. And what crazy resilience from Kasva there. Like, he had done so much. And then when the castle was on his face, I was thinking, oh man, I don't know if he can do anything now. I do think that Andy needed to try a different unit type. I think that the Lancers they just cost a resource, which he really didn't have a lot of. He did not have a lot of food eco. I would have preferred to see him just go wood and gold, monks and kip checks, and hope for the best. But, there were various points where we saw the Lancers actually paying off. It was honestly just really good resilience from Kasva, who got castle dropped to, stabilize his economy. And this is where sometimes, offense is the best form of defense, right? This was you know how sometimes with mangonels or, fights, we call it an even trade or a 1-for-1 trade? This is a 2-0 situation for Kasva. He goes out to attack. His opponent has to focus all of his attention here to keep the Knights out, right? And in the process, the Steppe Lancers died to the TC fire because that whole situation is stressful for Andy. And then he gets in and kills Vils anyway. So he's probably going to have double the Vil count. In fact, he already does. And I don't know. I'm a little disappointed that Andy called the GG there because I wanted to see what he does next, right? Like if he castles here, I'm curious on how it flows. But I do think that Kasva would be able to push the main eco of Andy soon. He'd probably make Knights and Rams there. He might actually do what we said and start to drop a castle over there. So maybe it's weird. It wasn't an early GG based on what we could see with the populations and the resources. But maybe there was a slightly higher chance there for Andy. Maybe like 1.5% chance. But a great game. We had towers, we had scouts, we had knights, we had Steppe Lancers, we had uniqueness. I have stated frustration with playing against or with the Cumans over the years because the Cumans can be so frustrating and ridiculous on both sides. But I love them in this game because they bring so much uniqueness to every game, right? It's like, the Cumans can go for 2 TCs. You have to play it differently, and games will play out differently on a whole bunch of different maps as well.